Welcome out to the Nerd Fake Podcast, episode number 32?
Sounds about right.
Yep.
Podcast's older than me.
I am one of your hosts, Dustin VanCour. I'm joined with my buddies,
Michael Morgan,
Mason Ireland.
Nikki Prindle.
Yay! This week, we're going to go over our top 10, well, the bottom half of our top 10 of real-life nerds. Basically people who have, they're not just fictional. We're not talking about your Charles Xaviers and your Batmans and your
Tony Starks.
That one kid from Recess.
And Shazams.
The one kid from Recess.
I don't remember the name.
And Freakazoids.
Oh, Freakazoid was great.
I know. Throwing it back.
I forgot about Freakazoid until just now.
I actually saw a picture today that showed up on my newsfeed of Freakazoid and Deadpool, like, just head to head.
I would love to watch that fight. I wonder if that's streaming anywhere.
We're going to be talking about the real people, the people who actually exist in our world today.
Or did.
Or did. Yes, they might be.
Mason's is a
They
little
might be
more
worm
morbid
food
than
by
ours
now,
is.
but
I have to say right now, I split my list of 10 into two halves. Dead nerds and not dead nerds. Or historic and modern, depending on how you want to look at it.
hey, I use the term historic.
Okay.
Which left are you doing today, then?
I was going to do the dead ones today.
Okay.
That's what she said.
Oh!
Ew. Did you just make a necrophilia joke
I
on
did.
this podcast?
Damn right.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
It is
We could be
after
clean for the
9
rest
on
of the
Sunday.
podcast, still in that explicit tag.
Yeah.
Hey, just be glad I haven't brought up necrophilia in a D&D game, considering you can raise dead.
Oh, god damn it.
And, well,
In more than one way.
I was saying,
Hey!
if it's a vampire or like a lich, which are intelligent undead, is...
Yeah,
Are they really
I'm
invading
thinking
this?
more in terms
This
of
is
zombie.
happening, isn't it?
We're nerds,
Yeah.
man.
I know.
Yeah, you got to think about these things.
I know. I almost put you guys as one of my top nerds, by the way, because I couldn't think of a number 10. And I was like, what if I put you guys?
I also specifically left off any and all people I actually know in person.
Yes, me too.
I know, but I thought it would be adorable. I opted.
I was glad to know that my list wasn't the only one that was basically made up of people within the last 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, air high five, buddy. I like that we sound
I had to
connected
cut my
there.
list down quite a bit.
I got
Yeah.
to 9, and then my brain was
yeah.
like, nope.
I went name. Next thing I know, I had like 15 people. I was like,
I had to pick between making my list and taking a nap, and then a kitty curled up on top of me while I was making my list.
oh.
So I hit 9 and was like, fuck.
I actually have 4 honorable mentions on my list,
Nice.
which we can always do at the end. All right. Anybody specifically want to kick us off?
We got ours open and ready.
Yep.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Right, 1, 2, 3, not it.
Let's do it elimination style. Rock, paper, scissors. Ready? On
Oh,
the
man.
podcast right now.
Okay, ready? Bye.
Oh, so Nikki and I. Ready?
Oh, balls.
So winner goes first? Or loser
Winner-
goes first?
Winner picks.
Okay.
Balls.
What was that? I've never,
That was
I've never seen
paper.
paper vertical like that before.
That's just how I did it.
Okay.
Why do you gotta hate?
I'm not hating. Go. Ready?
Okay.
I'll go first. Okay.
That was really exciting for all the
It
listeners,
was really
I'm sure.
exciting. I hope
For all
you
of our
guys-
viewers at home, that was Dustin that one.
Yes.
And Nikki throws rock every time.
We are the champions.
My friend.
Just save it for the montage.
Aye.
Lol.
All right.
Even.
My number 10 is somebody who that hasn't really had much of a personal influence on me, but has had an overall influence on, I would say, the nerd community as a whole. I have MC Front a lot as my number 10. I like his music a lot, but there's a lot of people out there that really get into him, and he's also, people call him the godfather of nerdcore. Oh, I
he
know.
is.
Yeah.
And I love it. In fact, we all saw him personally.
Yeah.
And he is an amazing gentleman.
Yes,
I
he
have
is.
his autograph on 3 different things because MC front a lot.
Yes. And,
I only got 2, but
I'm greedy.
I
don't care.
got 2 signatures, but one of them wasn't for me. I
yeah.
got Mike Dodd a replacement poster for the one that he lost.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, he first got his start off by winning an online music competition called Song Fight.
Yes.
By winning lots of them.
Yeah.
And just kind of became an internet sensation, and then the Penny Arcade guys kind of gave him his first real big break because they basically had a bigger following than him.
And then had him perform at PAX.
Came up with the Penny Arcade theme song.
Which is amazing.
And it's kind of all awesome from there.
Yeah.
Like, he just pretty much, he's developed and personally, he keeps coming out with new stuff on a regular basis, which is nice.
Yeah.
A lot of it's free on his website because he's just a cool dude.
Well, we recommend you support him and give him money.
Oh, absolutely. Give MC Fun a lot, all of your money, but if you want to hear him before you buy.
And the fact that we even saw him live in Boise is kind of...
He will never come back again.
Unfortunately, but I'm willing to go to Portland, Salt Lake, or Seattle to see him live. Or even better, San Francisco.
See, what we need to do, guys, is just start a convention of our own. One that's worth a shit. I'm not saying Fandemonium and Anime Oasis and some of those guys aren't worth a shit. I'm just saying
AO isn't worth a shit.
I think we should help the Library Comic-Con become worth a shit. Because it's already established.
I'm just saying, we have like 7, like, I haven't counted, but I'm guessing around 6 or 7 major conventions that happen around Boise, but not in Boise. There's Portland Comic-Con, there's,
Rose City Comic-Con, you mean?
Rose City Comic-Con.
Yeah, I got
Seattle
invited
Comic-Con,
to that.
PAX. Emerald City. Salt Lake Comic-Con.
And I can't do it, and I'm sad.
PAX.
PAX. I said PAX.
Yeah.
See me at PAX, come up and say hello.
I think Portland has a couple of them.
Name is Beefy.
Yeah, but there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them. They just basically happen around Boise. So,
yeah.
I think
the thing is, like, AO, like I said, really isn't worth a shit, because it's, I love anime, don't get me wrong, but it's just another anime convention, and there's so many of those that have already gotten so big, it would be hard to get another one to get big. It's gonna stay local. Whereas Fandemonium is a smaller scale, but a grander scope of PAX. Because PAX is very video game heavy. Not that that's bad, but it's very concentrated on the video games. Whereas, Fandemonium, thank you. I had Anime Oasis stuck in my head.
That was a brain fart you heard, folks?
Yes.
Oh, there it goes.
Stinks in here now.
I'm sorry.
It smells like brains.
Actually, brains don't smell that bad. They don't.
Wow.
That
was one of our greatest riffs that have ever happened on this show. That was like bing, 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 bing.
And then you had to go and quantify it.
I did, because it was amazing.
But Fandemonium is a lot more balanced in its anime and video games and role-playing games and board games and LARPing and all
stage plays
and all of the stuff. So, like I said, it's grander scope, but much smaller scale. So, I don't think necessarily we have to start our own, but if we could somehow help Fandemonium grow, because I know Borneo probably wouldn't mind it growing.
Or Library Comic-Con.
But that's also library.
That's also free. So, that's kind of...
Well, if it gets big enough, it might not be anymore.
As long as it's by the library, it has to be.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's put on by the city.
Lame.
But, no, I want to dominate.
Okay.
We need to rent out the, because there's a convention that happens over here across the street too, from our office. It's another anime convention, but
that's AO. I thought
AO happened down at the Grove.
They did once or twice.
Every time you say AO, my brain goes AO.
Yeah, that's the last time I was at AO was across the street here.
Yeah, last time I was at AO was across the street.
Okay.
Which might have been the same year as last time you were there.
I know it's AO, but that's just what my brain does.
So we're going to do the NFX Con.
Yes.
Or just start a Boise Comic Con.
Somebody just knock?
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably cleaners.
They've never knocked.
I don't know.
Well, maybe we heard them knocking on the bathroom.
No.
That's possible.
To make sure.
Because it is polite.
They would just plow in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right.
It's a bathroom. It's polite not to knock before you go in. It's still polite if it's like, you're cleaning.
You don't be taking a deuce and somebody mopping up the floor.
Yeah.
That'd be weird. So yeah, MC Front a lot. Somehow that evolved into we're gonna fucking take over and make our own.
And Mason eats brains.
I don't eat brains. I just said they don't smell
you
that
just
bad.
huff them. Okay.
I've dissected a few, okay? Anatomy and physiology. Evidently, I'm good at cutting brains in half. 'Cause
Can I share anatomy, physiology? Okay, I have a friend who was sports med, and she took this class where they had a cadaver in there, and they were learning about things, and somebody dropped their pencil in the cadaver and took it out and didn't throw it away. And then later, my friend looks over, and her friend had her pencil in her mouth. She's like, do you realize where that's been? And the girl just runs out of the room.
Well, it's like,
I love that story so much.
Well, one of the things, like, you would get incredibly used to this, like, in between osteology and lab work, in the anthropology department, is bones are not dry unless they're really, really old. So they kind of have a greasy feel to them.
Yeah, no, I deal with bones I make bone broth all the time at home.
And, this is human bone I'm talking about.
Yeah, but I mean, just bones in general are like that.
And, like, I know bones in general are like that, but, like, we'll sit there and, like, we'll be sitting there and we'll be, like, examining bones and, like, reaching over and grabbing our sandwiches. We're not gloved.
Oh, God. It's like
it's one of those things you get used to.
But you shouldn't.
They're sterile. They're just greasy still.
Germs.
All right, for those of you who have lost your lunch,
we'll give you a moment to puke. And we're back.
Mike, who's your number 10?
Number 10. So, I did go with the George Lucas on that one. Despite anything he may have ever done in his lifetime that has pissed anybody off
Dead
ever,
to me now.
he did give us Star Wars.
Yes.
So he deserves a spot on the list for me.
And Indiana Jones.
Oh,
yeah. So, yeah, I went with George Lucas on number 10, just because he needed to be on the list. Mainly. But, yeah. And nobody has anything to add to that.
I agree. I mean, I didn't put him on my list.
I didn't either.
But
I did. But for other reasons, pretty much.
But yeah, he did, regardless of episodes 1, 2, and 3, he gave us episodes 4, 5.
There's only 4, 5, and 6.
But he gave us 4, 5, and 6. So yeah,
No matter how much he screws up from here on, he's got a free pass.
Yeah, well, he's pretty much admitted he's out of the game at this point. He's kind of done.
That's true. Yeah, it's on Disney's hands.
Yeah, he said, "Hey Disney, I'll take your money."
Yeah.
It's on
I mean,
Disney's
who wouldn't though? If you got offered Disney money for something, wouldn't you take it?
Especially as soon as the word billion gets attached.
Just
okay.
Disney
All
money.
right.
Yeah.
Would be enough for me.
I'm not going to be here long enough to spend it. Also,
good thing I have kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Mason.
So mine, like I said, I split it up into living and dead. I'm doing dead this week.
Mason's number 5 dead person.
My number 5 dead person is Gene Roddenberry.
Ooh, nice.
And I'm not even that big of a trekker or trekkie, whichever one you want to call it. I don't judge. But, like...
You're not going to be Star Trekking across the universe anytime soon.
No. However, I will quickly, much more quickly, get into a shiny Firefly class or go to a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Mm-hmm.
But Roddenberry gave the nerd community Star Trek, which did something, I think, more important than Star Trek itself or the message that Star Trek tries to give, because I believe in equality and, judging people by what they say and think, not by what they look like. But Star Trek is what really started the whole convention scene.
Mm-hmm.
And that has become a huge thing for nerds, is the cons. As we just had a little banter about earlier, cons are a big deal. It's, cause cons are where nerds get to go and be...
I mean, there's another place I can go to meet other people like me?
Yeah.
You can go someplace and be as nerdy as you want and not be the weird kid in the room?
Yeah, because...
Let your nerd flag fly?
You can let your nerd flag fly and be proud of it. And, so, I mean, like, and pretty much all the towns that have major conventions in them embrace the conventions because, A, they're good for the town's economy.
Yeah, it's a money draw.
It's a money draw. I mean, even PAX in Seattle, where Seattle is not a city that's hurting for money, they embrace PAX being there because of the money.
Because if there's one thing that nerds have, it is money that they want to spend on things that they don't need because they have pictures of the things they like.
Right. And
PAX got so big, there's now PAX East and PAX South.
Yeah, PAX East and PAX, yes. Is it called South?
It's in Texas, yeah.
Oh, in Texas. I haven't heard about that one. I thought you were talking about Australia.
I just saw PAX South in Texas on my line show up earlier.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about that
Today or
one.
yesterday.
But there's also a PAX in Australia.
No, that would be cool.
Yeah.
But, you know, the conventions were where nerds got to feel safe about being nerds before it became more socially acceptable like it is nowadays. And it used to be a lot worse. So, you know, thanks to Roddenberry for just the idea of putting out there that people can be judged by what they say and think and not what they look like.
Oh yeah, I'm no stranger to the swirlies.
And also for giving us cons in general, making Star Trek fans, because of Roddenberry, making cons so important.
Just to follow up on that, PAX South debuts in 2015 in San Antonio, Texas.
Okay.
January's 23rd through 25th.
Okay.
Good time to have it there because it's cold as balls up here, and it'll be a nice weather in Texas, I'm sure.
It won't be blazingly hot in Texas.
Yeah.
It'll be almost pleasant.
Yeah.
Almost pleasant. It'll be ball sweatingly hot.
Your boobs sweatingly hot, depending on your...
They're all balls. They're all orb-shaped.
Chesticles.
We'll just we'll call it the orbs. We all have orbs.
Orb sweat.
No orb sweat hot. There we go. It's a gender neutral ball sweat. I love it. Orb sweat hot.
Orb. I'm writing this shit the fuck down. Orb.
Gender neutral ball sweat.
Hot.
I think I need to go edit Urban Dictionary really quick when I get home.
No
tonight.
shit. Please do. Make that a thing. Like an actual thing that people say. Is it my turn?
Yes.
Yes.
My number 10 is Stan Lee. Because Stan Lee.
Excelsior.
Yep, exactly. He's delightful every time you see him on interviews. He's created some of
All
my
the things.
best friends I had growing up.
The man, although in his 90s,
is still a little
eternally a 14-year-old.
Spry as fuck, I think, is a phrase that applies.
Yes,
to
it
Stan
does.
Lee. If you have not watched, what is it called? With Great Power?
With great power, yeah.
It is a documentary about the fabulous Stan Lee. I highly recommend it. It's on Netflix streaming.
And I believe it is also on Hulu, or it was for a while.
Was it?
Yes.
It's pretty good.
But yeah, I will second Nikki's recommendation of going and watching it.
There's also an interview with him and Kevin Smith called Monsters, or Marvel's Monsters and Superheroes or something like that. That he did back in like 2001, 2002, something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, he's, I think he was like, they were like at his 90th birthday or something like that, and with Great Power.
Yeah.
And it was so wonderful because like he was dancing with his wife, and
I think that was just at his house. I think that was just a normal day for him.
Yeah. And like bouncing around his office, excited to show it to people. And
he's still writing.
Yeah.
X-Men for a long time was the only comic series I gave two fucks about.
Sorry.
You're silly. Because I got introduced to it in the 90s cartoon show, blew my fucking little mind, and then I started hoarding the cards, which I still have, all my pristine little X-Men trading cards, and that got me into comics and all sorts of other stuff, and that's where I started, was Marvel.
Yeah.
And Stan Lee's amazing, so Excelsior.
Yeah.
Again, I was telling Mason on the way over here, I'm surprised this name didn't make it onto my list for some reason. It just didn't cross my brain.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that was my number 10 I finally came up with.
I was like, he should be on my list, but I was like, you know what? As long as somebody touches base on him, I'm okay with that.
I think just because Stan Lee would have been a perfectly good reason, but I felt like I needed to elaborate a little bit.
Agreed.
I would say anyone listening to this podcast, hopefully with Stan Lee, because Stan Lee, they knew already. But yeah. But, we got to talk.
Just in case a non-nerd is listening to the Nerd Effect podcast, social research or whatever.
Or if you're new to the nerd community and
Oh,
Yeah.
baby nerds.
Yep.
Yep.
Aww.
Go Google Stan Lee.
Yeah.
You'll thank us.
And not Stanley. Stan
Lee.
Lee.
Which actually isn't his.
His real name's
Name,
Stanley,
yeah.
actually, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But he liked it better. He got Stan Lee because it looked better.
Yeah.
It sounds cooler.
Well,
It suits him pretty well too.
Well, it worked. Like, plus when you got to think the main guy he worked with at the beginning of his career is Jack Kirby, Stan Lee, and the way they name comic book heroes, Peter Parker, Bruce Wayne, the whole, I know Bruce Wayne's DC, but there's a lot of naming conventions that go into comics, and Stan Lee works as a comic name also, so it was kind of a...
Like the ridiculous amounts of alliteration that Stanley uses when naming his characters.
Oh, yes. but like for their secret identity names, there's kind of it's usually it's 2 or 3 syllables and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And, he basically made his pen name, his nom de plume, if you want to get fancy.
I'm Mason, I'm fancy.
He made it 2 syllables. He, his writing partner and artist, Jack Kirby, was 3 syllables. And it just kind of works into the whole comic vibe.
It does indeed.
Boom.
Yes. So anyway, back to Dustin.
Number 9?
Yes.
All right.
Oh.
My number 9. Oh my.
Yeah, I didn't think about him. Sad.
It's funny because when you start talking about Star Trek and equality and stuff like that, nobody fucking represents that better than George Takei.
Yeah.
Fucking gay Asian dude, hell yeah.
So obviously most known for his role as Sulu on the Star Trek series. He's also made other appearances in TV shows and done voiceover and stuff like that. He was Hero's father in Heroes.
Yes. Which he was awesome at. I thought
yes.
he did great in that role.
He did that traditional kind of deep, brooding Asian dude voice.
He's got the voice.
Yeah. I don't even know how to fucking do it. I sound racist,
sounded
I'm sure.
good to me.
Did it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I don't speak other languages though.
That was I love you in Japan.
No, it wasn't. But
German sounds angry no matter what you say.
remember, people, life is precious and short. You should tell someone every day that you love them. You should also scream it at them in German because life is also uncertain and frightening.
If I knew how to say I love you in German, I would start yelling at people, yeah.
So I don't think I put it in here, but in 2005 he came out as being gay, but he never called it coming out. He said there was some nice little prose that he put out there that he made it sound a little bit more accepting than coming out of the closet.
Yeah.
I hate that phrase so much.
He's been with his partner for 18 years.
Yep.
And they love each other dearly. Brad. And if you've ever met Brad too, if you've ever seen him in interviews, he's also delightful.
I actually haven't seen an interview with him.
I haven't either. I don't even know if I've seen a picture of him.
I think I've only seen one, but he was there with George promoting something. And I can't remember what it was. But
I was say, if you're following George on on Facebook,
if you're not, you
catch
should,
pictures
first of
of
all.
him every once in a while.
And that's the thing. They were saying he runs one of the most popular pages on Facebook. He's had an asteroid named after him.
What?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Asteroid 7307 Takei is named in his honor, discovered in 1994.
So that one's scheduled to destroy us in about 30, 40 years?
It says,
That's 2023 is the...
Upon learning of the decision to name an asteroid after him, he said, "I am now a heavenly body. I found out about it yesterday. I was blown away. It came out of the clear blue sky, just like an asteroid."
Nah.
And in 2012, when an American Humanist Association gave Takei the LGBT Humanist Award.
Aw.
So he's all over the place, being a heavy activist for
Also
not
hilarious.
only nerds, but obviously the lesbian,
Yeah.
gay, bi, trans community. So, good on him. God bless him. He's fucking amazing. And he's at his age too, which is...
He's in his 70s, I think. Late 60s.
I have no idea.
I'm sure his birthday was on there. I just didn't copy it.
But yeah, he's not a young man.
No.
And-
Nope.
But like Stan Lee, really spry for his age.
Yeah, eternally
Still
just
super
eternally
accurate.
a 12-year-old, especially
Yeah.
when he's walking around going "oh my" all the time.
I
He's
love
he's
every
got a
time he says that, I
catchphrase. I mean,
laugh.
how many cool?
Yeah.
How cool is that?
I think that being a generally happy, kind-hearted person just makes you live longer.
Yeah, probably.
Like, bitter, angry people just age faster. Look at Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Has not aged.
No, hasn't.
No.
Nope. Earl Grey tea.
Yeah, that's the key right there. Just drink your Earl Grey and you'll never age.
Earl Grey and smiles. And the photos of him and fucking Ian McKellen are goddamn adorable.
Oh, they're so funny.
They are the greatest besties.
Yeah.
I just want them to have a show where they frolic through fields. With, like,
Yeah. And they would
happy
do
music.
it too, just
Oh,
for
yeah.
shits and giggles. Like because there was like a recent photo shoot of them, like of them just they were touristing New York.
They like
Just
went to a
going
bowling
around,
alley and shit.
And they were
yeah.
at like phones, like phone booths, and talking on the phones next to each other.
Can you imagine you're walking
awesome.
down the fucking street on your way to work and you're just pissed because it's a Monday or something?
Is that Gandalf
And then
and
all of
Picard?
a sudden, yeah, they're just frolicking down the street.
Is that Magneto and Professor
Flowers,
X?
Yeah.
like, trailing in the wind after them. Holding hands in my mind. Like, Looney Tunes music. Like, yeah. Like, you could not be grumpy for the rest of the week.
Why is this not happening?
All the bad things could happen and you would
Well,
just be fine all week.
Yeah.
Does happen.
It did happen.
Yeah.
Just
The little
not quite
bowler
how I
hats
envisioned
and-
it. Yeah, I know, they're little hats. I love them. How is Patrick Stewart not on my list?
Probably because he
Failed
doesn't,
me.
other than Star Trek and other than the roles he's played, he probably doesn't really have
Well, he's a
much.
Shakespearean trained actor, and I don't know how many theater nerds you know.
They're pretty nerdy.
Yeah, that's true, yes.
Like, he was in the Royal British.
He was RSC, Royal
Yeah.
Shakespeare Company.
Yeah,
You know, the best Shakespeare company in the world.
pretty nerdy.
Yeah.
That's true.
He didn't
Anyway.
make mine either.
He's
so.
just classy as fuck.
Yeah.
So
That's my number 9.
Okay. My number 9, I cheated. I had 2 names that fit the same role. So,
Okay.
that's not how this works at all.
yeah, well. So,
I almost
Vint
did that with 2.
Cerf and Robert Elliott, quote, Bob Kahn. These are the 2 gentlemen who are responsible for inventing the internet.
Oh, yes.
I thought Al Gore did that.
So, if anybody ever says to you that they invented the internet and their name is not Vint Cerf or Robert Elliott Kahn, they're lying.
Yeah.
These are the 2 gentlemen that are officially recognized as the inventors of the internet.
Yes.
Thank you for bringing me unlimited amounts of porn.
And all the information in the world at the tip of your fingers. Then you watch cat videos.
And so many kitties! Oh god, my Pinterest feed is just all kittens and pit bull puppies. It's ridiculous.
How's that Nerd Effect Pinterest
No.
feed going?
Oh, I haven't gotten on it very much this week.
You still
Sorry,
haven't
I've been
sent me,
busy.
you haven't sent me new invites either.
I keep, needing to remember to start my Pinterest account. But anyway.
Don't mind me, carry on.
Yeah,
Just logging on to Pinterest.
Nikki's the Nerd Effect Pinterest admin if you hadn't figured it out.
I've been slacking this week because I'm too lazy to log out of my own damn Pinterest on my phone. That's the only reason.
Well, I just think that the invites you sent me were all expired, so
I'll
I couldn't.
resend it.
Yeah.
It looks like both of them are still alive, too. They're both in their 70s.
Yeah.
So,
Am I sending
Quick,
it to
somebody
you?
thank them before they die.
Oh, they get
Oh,
a
I'm
lot
sure
of
they
things
get a
all the
lot of
time,
thanks.
actually.
I saw pictures of them on the birthday of the interwebs.
Yes.
that's right. Lol.
Just never. I was trying to not say it. Do you want me to send it to your Nerd Effect email, Dustin?
Send it to my Gmail.
Okay.
Giggity.
Alrighty.
I'm just logging on to Pinterest. Carry on.
My number 4 dead nerd. This one might throw some people for a loop. Aristotle.
Ooh.
The OG nerd.
Because, well, Aristotle,
Gee. Sorry.
original Greek nerd, what?
Oh god, I love it so much.
Baklava life.
No.
Oh, baklava.
Sounds really good.
Baklava always sounds really good.
It's true. I need to learn how to make it.
The thing is, it's actually-
Mason just nodded his head so hard his eyes almost popped out.
I really like baklava.
I might be neighbors with Nikki and all of her good food soon.
So, yeah, Aristotle. And here's my reasoning behind it. He's the father of empiricism. In other words, observing and learning from the natural world and using observation to figure out how the natural world works. He's basically the father of humanist thought. And Yeah, I think that's pretty good right there. I think those are really good reasons that he should be one of the best all-time nerds on the top 10 lists.
True. I would say being a natural thinker in any way is probably nerd cred in itself.
Yeah, so... Yeah. Aristotle.
Dun, dun, dun. Nikki.
I think Mason's the only one here with enough knowledge on Aristotle to even actually say anything.
Bill Nye, the science guy.
So you're 9?
Yeah.
Nice.
No, I just thought I'd start singing that for no reason. With
Well, it kind of went with... Never mind.
Not
Forget it.
really.
No.
I mean, science, but science.
I'm ruining a moment. Go.
I need to talk better.
You don't speak
So,
good.
Bill Nye the Science Guy, growing up in the 90s, was a very important part of all the things. My favorite thing was when they'd wheel a TV into the classroom and pop on a
You're
Bill
like,
Nye the Science
Bill
Guy
Nye
video.
Day!
It was the fucking best!
Hell, Bill Nye the Science Guy was good when I was an adult in the 90s.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I'd actually like to rewatch it. I think it's on one of the streaming things.
Yeah.
I need to
I hope
rewatch
so.
it.
If it is, I will binge watch
You
the
need to
shit
binge
out
watch
of
it with your child because science.
Like, just
pop her
tape
down,
her eyes open and
full
just
on
strap her
Clockwork
head to a
Orange
chair.
style, strap her to a chair with her eyelids propped open and make her watch Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Oh, shoot.
No, we wanted to like Bill Nye.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Give
true.
her ice cream and make her watch Bill Nye the Science Guy. There you
just
go.
Clockwork Orange style. Just
Bill Nye and Reading Rainbow, dude.
Oh, God. Okay.
I know LeVar Burton bought rights to the.
It's in a book.
Oh, yeah, no, they've made an app.
Reading Rainbow.
Yeah.
It's an app on your phone, and it gets updated like once a week or something like that. And,
I were straight, I would say that I'm madly in love with LeVar Burton because he is just the coolest person ever. I'm not. He's just awesome. It's like the gay equivalent of a man crush, I guess. He is fucking amazeballs. My mom gave me a box of shit that I drew when I was a kid, and I'm rifling through it, and I find this picture, and it's a brown scribble, and a peach scribble, and then rainbow scribbles. And I flip it over, and on the back, my mom wrote the year. I think I was 3. And I apparently claimed that that was me on Reading Rainbow.
nice.
Yeah. Keep in mind, I started watching Star Trek around the same time. So I had, like, the double whammy of awesomeness growing up. He should have been on my list, too. Damn it. But yeah, Bill Nye and him made kids awesome in the 90s.
So it's like somebody reached into a television and pulled him out of Star Trek, and then with the other hand pulled him out of Reading Rainbow,
And then-
slapped him on both sides of your head.
Yeah,
That was the first evidence of cloning.
Yeah,
Really.
yeah, really. Like young Nikki is like, that's the same guy.
I think that's the first actor I ever had that thought with.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, that's the same fucking
Well, because
dude.
Reading Rainbow is a huge part of your life growing up. Like, when you're little and in that time period, like, I was a giant fucking book nerd. I got in trouble for reading in my desk at school, because I finished the work we were supposed to be working on, so I had a book and I was reading inside my little cubby desk, and my teacher busted me. I got in trouble for reading. Reading Rainbow was the greatest thing ever to happen to my TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite book, Caps for Sale, which started my obsession with the types of hats that I'm wearing right now. They did a Reading Rainbow thing on that. I've watched it a couple times as an adult, I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty great.
But, yeah.
So Bill Nye / LeVar Burton apparently is...
Yeah, that was more about LeVar Burton than it was Bill Nye.
Because Mason said Reading Rainbow, and then I got really excited.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. No, they're both important for the same reason, though. Like, they both formulated my thought process as a child. I like science. I'm not very good at it, but I like it. And I love reading.
One of the things I always remembered about Bill Nye was one of his episodes where he's trying to teach about motion, I think, or something like that, where he just sat in an office chair with his legs propped up, and on the end of a stick he had a little rocket, and it just fucking spun him around.
Oh,
in
yeah.
circles.
Yeah.
And then there was a blooper reel at the end of the video of it, just like fucking knocking him off the chair every time he tried to get it started. It was pretty funny.
I'm adding him to my list because that became a dual number 9.
So did you take somebody off it to replace him?
No, it's Bill Nye LeVar Burton. I would say it's childhood science, childhood educational TV.
Seriously. Because they both just were so important to me growing up.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even think I watched Sesame Street. I think I watched those dudes.
And like I would say to add on for like modern day ones, I would say it's Mythbusters.
I love them. They blow up all the things.
Yeah.
Like, that's the reason.
And like,
And they've got hot girls welding. I mean, like, what more do you need out of a show? Hot girls welding
yeah, sorry,
and explosions. You okay?
Yeah. Okay.
You back?
Yeah.
All right.
Boom.
I am sad that she didn't stay on the show. She was pretty great. The blonde one. I can't remember her name.
Oh, I was.
The welder.
Yeah.
Not Carrie Byron.
I was thinking
No.
Carrie Byron.
Oh, well, her too. She's also a sculptor.
Yeah. Have you
Yeah.
ever seen it for sculpture?
Yeah.
Badass shit.
Super badass shit.
But
I might have internet stalked her one time. Like, wonder what she does other than this thing. Click, 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 click. Nice.
yeah,
Educational TV, when it's done right, is so fucking cool.
yeah. And one of the things I like what Adam Savage says about like Mythbusters is that they're not necessarily doing science.
Mm-hmm.
They are trying to use a lot of scientific process, but they're doing is not necessarily science. But they get a lot of people interested in science because of that show, and
Yeah,
they get
they
people
do.
asking questions.
Yep.
And that's one of the greatest things that you can do for kids is encourage them to ask questions.
That's how they pick most of the things they do their shows on, is people write in.
Yeah.
Ask them a question, and then they try and figure it out. And
Yeah.
I know a lot of people complain that their scientific method is not sound. But
no, but
it's close
usually
enough for
when
TV.
and usually when whatever they're doing fails, they'll find out a way to make it happen.
right. And the thing is
Oh,
that,
that's my favorite. Well, it didn't work the way that the legend said, so let's see how we can get it to work with 10 pounds of dynamite.
Yes.
Lol.
But yeah, I think that, I think we really do need not just like Mythbusters and the reboot of Cosmos.
Ugh, I need to get caught
But-
up.
I think we also need shows that fit in like Reading Rainbow and
He actually brought that over. They've got an app that's interactive, and
Right.
it's got like stories and stuff on it.
I think you should get it for Evie. I'm just saying.
You get what was that? Oh, to Dustin. Yeah, I agree. I think it's free for the app, and then you can pay for the books.
Or something
I believe
like that,
something
yeah.
like that. Yeah, and it just sounded cool.
Yeah. And but I mean, we need another Bill Nye too that actually does science.
Yeah, we do. Alton Brown was like the Bill Nye of food.
Yeah.
You guys never saw Mr. Wizard, did you?
Oh, I did.
Seen it, but it wasn't the big science.
Oh, no, it's
show.
not like
We're
Bill.
gonna need another Jimmy. Sorry.
Lol.
Um.
That's what that was around when I was a kid.
Yeah.
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 I think I caught reruns of it on PBS. Cause
Yeah,
That's
it's not
what
as
PBS
exciting because he
does.
was really like kind of dry and quiet, and they just kind of got the kids to do the little experiments, and
Yeah.
the kids were like, "Oh, hey, that's cool," and that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
Bill Nye's a lot more
yeah.
kind of thing.
He's still that way. Again, another guy who's getting old, who's as spry as fuck.
I mean, that fucking debate,
yeah.
which I still haven't watched. I've seen clips of it, but oh my god, can you say pwned?
Yeah. And the fact that he was like, I'm not going to bother really responding to you. I'm just going to use this as an opportunity to teach people science. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so anyway, go ahead, Dustin. Let's go on to actual, instead of expanding on Nikki's list, let's go on to yours.
Oh my god, I need to write up a list supplemental is what needs to happen.
We could have probably seen the top 20, but
We should just have a show about kids shows that were awesome and made of learning.
That's a good future episode, I think.
Yeah.
Because I could just rant about that.
my number 8, Simon Pegg.
Nice, yeah.
Simon Pegg, no real like full on nerd cred, but he's just a
He's a giant fucking nerd. What are you talking about?
Okay, hold on.
Have you
Jesus
watched
Christ.
Spaced?
I have not seen Spaced.
Okay, you watched Spaced because you're wrong. Continue.
But probably most famously known for is they call it the Cornetto trilogy, which is I guess it's a flavor of it's an ice cream store that shows up in every movie they've done so far.
Yeah.
Think drumsticks.
Yeah. Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End, which I still have not seen The World's End yet, and I need to horribly.
It's at Redbox.
Shush, I know I will fix it.
I'm sorry.
And he was in the Spaced movie. He was in the Mission Impossible films.
Spaced was
or in number 3 specifically, I think. He was also in Doctor Who as the editor.
Star Trek.
And Jesus, woman, I'm getting there. He was in Star Trek as Scott.
Yes.
And his little alien buddy.
Mm-hmm.
He was also in a Doctor Who audio thing that the BBC did.
Audio play.
Yeah, audio drama.
Audio drama.
He also has, and this is actually the kicker that made me put him on this list, is a famous quote that got kicked around the internet for a while, about being a geek. And it goes on to say, being a geek is all about being honest about what you enjoy and not being afraid to demonstrate that affection. It means never having to play it cool about how much you like something. It's basically a license to proudly emote on somewhat childish level rather than to behave like a supposed adult. Being a geek is extremely liberating.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much, and he has a book too, and I can't remember the name of it. Geek Do Well, I think is what it's called. Or Geek Do Well.
Okay.
Something or other like
Nerd Do Well.
Nerd Do Well, yeah.
Nerd Do Well sounds better, so I bet that's it.
It makes more sense with the original phrase.
Yes.
Yeah. But yes, Simon Pegg. And I didn't mean what I said about actual nerd cred. I'm just saying he's not like a scientist or anything, but.
Well, that's not necessarily nerd cred.
I know. And I made note of that too before the show. So, God bless him.
Yep.
I think I've said that after every person. Go Simon Pegg!
Nick, you want to elaborate on that, or are you good?
Yeah, anything you'd like to add to that, Nikki? You seem so excited about talking
But
about
then
Simon
I got
Pegg.
shot down, so I'm gonna just stand here and be quiet now.
Well, it's
And by
just-
stand, I mean sit. And by
Well,
be quiet, I mean talk into my microphone. Does that make
Because we always mean opposites.
Well, I'm not being quiet, and I'm not standing, so...
I was just trying to get through my piece first before you said anything.
I got excited.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's why we're offering you the...
Spaced is fucking amazing.
Okay.
It's a great show, and it's the one that kind of got him started in his shit, and it's just all video games and comic references, and, like, he's a comic artist.
Drawer?
He's a drawer.
Nerd.
My name is Simon. I like to make drawings. It works because it is. Sorry. It's a really great show. It's on Netflix streaming. If anybody hasn't seen it yet,
Oh, it is on Netflix?
Yes, it is.
Awesome. I will be
well
watching
worth.
it
I mean, it wasn't on for very long because it's a British TV show, and they just don't do that. But the reason that it ended is actually because he went to go start.
Movies.
Yeah. And it's also got what I can't remember his friend's name. The guy that's in
Oh,
that.
Nick.
Yes, Nick
Yeah.
Frost.
Nick Frost, yeah.
Yeah, he's also in that.
Okay.
Well, that's because they're
And
in everything
a
they
lot
do.
a lot of the same people from the movies are actually in that, so it's pretty cool to see them working together in a different context. And done.
Okay.
Number 8. So, I went Harrison Ford on number 8.
Okay.
Okay, yes, he's an actor. But still, I mean, he's Han Solo and
Indiana Jones.
And
Harrison
Deckard.
Ford.
Yeah, so one of my big influences was Blade Runner and his role in that, so.
Yes.
Yeah, so that definitely puts him on my list.
He's kind of accepted that fate recently.
I
He just puts himself out there and just fucks with people on a regular
I like
basis.
how he likes to break nerds.
Uh-huh.
Like, if you want to hear something painful, listen to the Nerdist podcast's interview with Harrison Ford.
It is.
I
just-
think he knows the effect he has on people and just chooses to torture them, which makes me respect him more as a person.
And the stunts they not stunts, but like the pieces he does, like on Jimmy Fallon and stuff like that, where he comes out there and he's just willing to put himself out there.
Yeah.
And just act like an ass.
I think he's also a little bit insane at this point in his life. And by little bit, I mean batshit.
Well, he's an old guy who's lived through Hollywood his entire life, and
a pilot, which is a super stressful thing to do.
Yeah. And he realizes that he has enough money that he is no longer crazy. He's now eccentric.
He's also fucking famous for the last 40 plus years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's Han fucking Solo.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
He will be Han Solo again.
Yeah.
Is he reprising the role?
Did they
Yes.
confirm it?
All three of them have confirmed, I believe.
Wait,
Yeah.
all three...
4. Chewie.
Oh, yes. Peter Mayhew. That's correct. Yes. all
Wait,
four
so
of them.
Chewie, Han.
Luke and
Leia.
Leia.
Sorry, I thought they were going to have different people play them. And
Well,
I
they're
just-
not going to have, like,
They're not
from what it
major
sounds
roles.
like
Don't
they're major
care.
roles. It's just, it's
Don't
like,
care.
oh, hey, the parents are here.
Counts.
And,
Yeah.
Still counts.
Yep.
Well, actually, from what I heard, Peter Mayhew may actually have a decently large role.
Because
Chewbacca.
Chewie's big.
That and, like,
'Cause you said
Wookiees
large
live like
role.
300
Well,
years.
but you also said large role and Chewie's tall.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, he is a pretty damn big guy.
Yeah, I want one.
You want a Wookiee?
Yes, I want a Wookiee. You
That's
don't?
what she said. Sorry.
What a Wookiee! Chewbacca! What a Wookiee! Anybody who needs a Clerks reference, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Alrighty.
think we're good there. Yeah.
Okay. Number 3 on my dead list, Gary Gygax.
I love that you're calling it your dead list.
Nah.
The man who took war games and made role-playing games out of them.
Yep.
They were pretty much done. That's what he did. Which is, of course, huge for nerds because we got, D&D in every role-playing game that followed after it. Oh, and pretty much influenced most major video games in some way. Yeah, so.
So what you're saying is he hit the grave going, thanks, or you're welcome, fuckers.
Pretty much, yeah. So, yeah.
My number 8 is Colonel Chris Hadfield. And if you don't know who that is, we're going to post a link. The way I think that most people know about him is because he did a cover of David Bowie's Space Oddity from the
ISS.
International Space Station. And it's
In space.
I mean, he actually rewrote some of the lyrics so that the astronaut doesn't die, because he was an astronaut in space, and I wouldn't want to sing that either.
Which just passed over in Clearview recently.
Yeah.
I know,
Last night.
I keep
I missed
missing
it, yeah.
it. It's at the wrong time for me. I don't know if
By
I've
that she
mentioned
means
this.
after 8 p.m.
You know what? Fuck you. I'm old
But
now.
we'd only see it as like a bright
It's just a
light
bright
Still
light.
counts.
So, yeah.
I don't care. Still counts.
I'm still happy that we're going to have a perfectly clear view of the eclipse later this week.
I know, but that's way
Oh.
too late for me.
I had not heard of this.
1 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can deal with that.
Obviously.
But so
It's going to be a full blood moon into the eclipse, too.
So Chris Hadfield is a Canadian astronaut who was on the space station, brought up the guitar because he's a cool dude. He took tons of pictures and tweeted them and just basically tried to make people feel more connected with what was going on up there, which, as a young Nikki, I had a poster of the future plans for the space station on my wall as a kid. So anything involving the space station, I just get nostalgic daws about. And really excited, and like they were talking about the space station on the news tonight, and they just showed footage of it just floating in space with the landscape in the background, and I was just like, nah. I just get excited. And he just tried to get kids more excited about space. And even now, he's a retired astronaut technically, but he goes around and like he uses his lunch hour to teleconference with kids in different schools. He wrote a book called An Astronaut's Guide to Life on Earth, which actually made my Christmas list that we did on that
Yes.
show. If you don't follow him on Facebook, you really should, because he posts all sorts of gorgeous space photos, and he's just an all-around delightful person. They also interviewed him on The Nerdist, and he's fantastic and just a great human being.
He's funny.
He's funny, he's charming, he's Canadian, he's an astronaut who plays guitar. And I think he's single, which just doesn't make sense. Like, you'd think that if that guy can't get
But he
a
has
woman...
a son.
Oh, I could be wrong then.
Well, maybe he's not married. I'm sure he's
Yeah.
getting all the booty he ever wants.
You'd think. I mean, guitar-playing astronaut, what more do straight ladies need?
I'm an astronaut. Isn't it like the ultimate pickup line?
I'm an astronaut, and oh, here, let me serenade you on my guitar that's been in space.
Okay, that does bump it up a little bit.
Pants
but-
would just drop as he walks down the street, I would think. But he's just, I'm sure he's more of a gentleman than that, though.
Yes.
Yeah, but he's
Canadian.
I don't think Canadians work that way. But he just, he is what the space program in every country needs.
Yeah.
is more men like him, because he makes it accessible, he gets kids excited about it, he gets adults re-excited about it, and just tries to make the whole thing more accessible and more of a thing that's present in our daily lives instead of you just hear about it once in a while in the news.
Right.
And that's amazing, and I think kudos to him. Not that he needs my kudos, the man's a fucking astronaut. But kudos to him anyways, because he's rad. I mean, he tweeted pictures of space from space.
Yeah, that's
pretty fucking
that's a
nerdy.
win. That's a win, right?
That's a giant win. So he actually probably should have been further up on my list, but I didn't really write them down in a specific order. Space.
It's okay.
He's been in the final frontier, you guys.
Yes.
Yep.
Not too far out, but
Further than we'll ever
further
be.
than we'll ever be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Technically, we're out there now.
Riding this giant space shuttle called Earth, baby.
I'm just shaking my head.
I know.
Yeah.
I had to say
So
it,
anyway.
because the listeners can't see me shaking my head.
Oh, pardon me.
Yawns is next on your list, Dustin?
Yes.
That's not a nerd.
No, it's not. My number 7, George Lucas. For reasons beyond Star Wars and Indiana Jones, which obviously is probably what put him on the map. He is also the founder of THX,
Yes.
Industrial Light and Magic, LucasArts, Lucas Entertainment, and all the other things that bring us super awesome visual and sound effect type things.
Yes.
Which again all got sold to Disney. But, because that was part of the package.
Yes.
You got offered Disney money.
I don't know what else to say about it. Skywalker Sound, Industrial Light and Magic,
Skywalker Ranch?
LucasArts.
Well, that's his house.
I know, but he named it Skywalker Ranch.
After the amount of money he made on Star Wars, I would have too.
Yeah, he owes that movie a lot.
And I would have designed my house to look like the Millennium Falcon.
I would have designed it to look like
Oh, wait, that's
Andrew
because
and
I'm
Uncle
a nerd.
Owen's little sand hut thing. Only big.
Or Jabba's palace.
That'd be pretty cool, too.
God, I would so do a Java's Palace.
And Mike has ideas now
damn
involving
it.
slave girls.
So regardless of what you think of George Lucas himself, he is definitely a major contributor to what people identify as nerds.
Mm-hmm.
And as somebody who's an audiovisual geek, thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh, me.
Mike, number 7.
List.
Did you
Okay.
just say list?
Bonus points if anybody can tell me what this one is. Charles Babbage.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, I know that name. I don't know why I know that name.
Babbage's difference engine. First mechanical computer.
Yeah.
So it's the inventor of, well, yeah, he was the inventor. He created the first
theorist, because he never actually made it.
Yeah. So he was a mathematician.
Yeah.
And basically his work was the basis of what gave us modern day computers. So, yeah.
And a few years ago, I think they finally ended up finishing a Babbage's difference engine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of little tiny moving parts.
How does it work, though? Like, does it work?
Yeah. It's
Awesome.
a completely mechanical, gigantic calculator.
That's awesome.
Jinx, buddy.
Oh my god. I need to put that in a game.
I want a Cordo even more. No one here knows what a Cordo is.
No.
I like to call them math grenades.
I'm listening.
I'm sold.
They are cylindrical, about that long, about that big around.
That big and that long doesn't...
They're okay.
Translate.
They're about 2 inches in diameter and about 4 to 5 inches tall.
Okay.
And they look kind of like a pepper grinder, except for you set 2 sets of rings to numbers and then rotate it, and it adds, subtracts, multiplies, or divides depending on what setting you have it on. The numbers together.
Well, that's
And
cool.
so if you wanted to repeatedly add something, you could go I need to add 25.3 to 15 3 times. You can just go 1, 2, 3, and spin the grinder 3
You know,
times.
it'd be really neat is if somebody made a pepper grinder that also did the math, like one of those.
Yeah. Cordos are incredible.
I need to grind specifically 1 teaspoon of pepper. And then it just stops after a teaspoon.
But cordos are incredibly rare. You can find them on eBay in working condition, but they usually go for in excess of $1,500.
Jeez.
But I really want one because they're a mechanical calculator.
Mm-hmm.
That's so much more than I paid
insane.
for my truck.
Yeah. Well, if you can find someone willing to give, let me pay them just $50 for a cordo, I will do it.
Okay. I'll look around. Apparently I'm good at finding things for $50.
So, yeah.
Go.
So on to my number 2.
Duh.
Okay. Or my number 7. Number 2 on my dead list. Leonardo da Vinci.
Oh.
Mic drop.
Done.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one.
I mean, let's see. Major scientific breakthrough or major scientific knowledge gained by his very illegal at the time dissections and anatomy photo or anatomy drawings.
Oh, and his drawings are beautiful.
Yeah. A complete revolution of art because he had the Mona Lisa looking at the audience. Art nerds will get that.
Mm-hmm. I got it.
Oh, and the spoonficado technique of oil painting. Yeah, he basically revolutionized art and science.
Nothing major.
Nothing big. Just, you know.
His biggest accomplishment was becoming the artist of a tattoo on my back.
Which, I was to say, is
Really
an awesome tattoo.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he had a Ninja Turtle named after him.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet, too.
He had the leader of the Ninja Turtles named after him.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what more award do you need than that?
Not much, really.
No more
But yeah,
recognition.
Leonardo da Vinci, because, yeah.
He also may or may not have been gay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He also may or may not have been in love with the woman that is the subject of the Mona Lisa. No one's
I've heard that
sure.
one too, yeah.
But doesn't matter. It's Leonardo fucking da
Man was a
Vinci.
genius.
Yeah.
Just out of personal experience, as an artist myself, you're trying to get the attention of a woman you like, draw her. And trust me, you get their attention. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you don't do it well.
Yeah, that's it. I said if you're good at it. Much like anybody who has a particular skill, like if you play music, you're going to play them music.
I was never
so
good
on
at
and so
playing
forth.
music for people one-on-one. That is not a skill I ever had. I am really good on it in a group, set back from an audience. But you put me in front of somebody one-on-one and I just, nope. That is a very specific skill set.
So yeah.
Oh, me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, we discussed this. We coached me on how to pronounce this. Mayim Bialik. Okay, and I did not actually know her real name. I had to look it up. This is the actress who many of you will be familiar with. Good Lord, I speak good today.
Is that fully familiar?
I guess, maybe. She's Amy Farrah on The Big Bang Theory.
And for those of you dating way back, she was also Blossom.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
was also Blossom.
See, I thought you were going to go for Blossom
That's
first.
what I thought, too.
I didn't watch Blossom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. She plays a neuroscientist. She also happens to be a fucking neuroscientist.
And mathematician.
And mathematician. Okay, she plays violin, got accepted to Juilliard. Just let that one sink in a little bit. If you know what Juilliard is, it's like the best music school of all the music schools. My brother actually got scouted for that school and turned him down. Because he would have had to practice.
Oh, right. That whole practicing thing.
Yeah. And she turned them down because she wanted to double major in math and music performance. Which, fucking nerd. Like, that is nerdy shit right there. The two do kind of go hand in hand, but, yeah, she's just amazing. Like, if you just do any sort of research on her or see an interview with her, she's super intelligent.
Yeah.
Ridiculously smart. I think she actually coaches them a little bit on the science content.
Yeah, she does.
On Big Bang Theory.
There was actually someone who obviously did not do their research, who was doing like, the red carpet interviews with her. They were like, they made a joke about, what's it like, they were trying to make a joke with her about, is basically,
what's it like to play a smart person?
What's it like to play a smart person? All the science words hard. And she's like, I actually have a PhD in neuroscience. Like, deadpan them.
Yeah, which is hilarious. But I mean, just take a minute to grasp this, okay? PhD in neuroscience, double major in music performance and math. And an accomplished fucking actress.
Yes.
And a mother of two.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe leave some success for the rest of us. Just a thought.
Yeah, bitch.
Oh yeah, and it's also pretty much on everything I've ever, actually, pretty much every interview I've ever seen on. Completely wonderful.
Oh yeah, she was on the Rachel Ray show, which I don't have cable. My options are limited certain times of the day. She was hilarious. She also happens to be like a super healthy eater and a really good cook, apparently. So
Figures.
Apparently there is nothing this woman can't do. It's ridiculous. She's awesome.
She is awesome.
Big Bang Theory is also one of my favorite shows. I think I've seen all the episodes multiple times. I will still watch them again because they're fucking funny.
I haven't seen season 6 yet.
I've seen most of it. Yeah, they just stay funny, and I love that they've got actual scientists playing their scientists. That makes me pretty happy too. I know there's a lot of nerds out there that don't like that show.
Whatever. It's
I
funny
still
for
don't
what
understand why. Yeah.
Well, the thing is like some nerds take the jokes made about the nerdy things too harshly.
If you can't laugh at yourself.
But that's my thing is like, I can laugh at myself. And if you can't laugh at yourself, you really gotta lighten up.
I get super excited when I can relate to the things that they do making fun of the nerds on the show. Like, when I'm like, like, I have 3 of Sheldon's shirts that I just had before I started watching the damn show.
I'm just putting this out there, and I'm willing to throw one of my friends under the bus, but whenever I see Sheldon, I'm like, that's fucking Dragon. I mean, maybe to a weirder extent, but I mean, as far as the character that he plays and that's the seriousness of the stuff that he talks about is, I mean,
Sheldon's a crack up.
It's like, that's fucking Dragon. Like, you can't deny it.
His relationship with Amy is really funny. I haven't seen the last 2 episodes. But
like I said, I haven't seen any of season 6 yet.
It's those 2 characters just playing off each other just cracks.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
And Dragon, if you're listening, I still love you, buddy. I'm not making fun of you at all. I'm just, the comparison is fucking undeniable.
First he says he's throwing him under the bus, and then he says he's not making fun of him. I just don't know what to believe. I'm totally
maybe
teasing
not
you.
throwing under the bus isn't the right word. Name drop. I'm willing to name drop.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's okay, Dragon. We love you. Jeez.
Yes.
God, get off my ass.
Don't worry, Dragon.
Gross.
It's okay.
For my number 6, I too would like to jump onto the popular early 90s teenage female that later became super smart and famous.
Please say Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Danica McKellar.
I knew he was going for Danica.
So I'm kind of glad
and
you
also,
brought up
not to mention what Danica got hot.
Yeah, she's fucking Winnie Cooper, and Winnie Cooper doesn't get any less hot with age.
Can we just all admit that we all had crushes on Winnie Cooper? Just right
Yes.
now, right after that.
If
you say you didn't, you're a liar.
If Fred Savage didn't hit that, his entire time on the show was worthless. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm right there with you.
Yeah. It wasn't worth any of that time or the money he got paid. And
then she goes on to get a master's in mathematics. I don't know if she actually got her PhD or not.
Let's see here. She played Winnie Cooper in the Wonder Years. She was also in Sidekicks. Basically playing Winnie Cooper again, but just a different character and in the 90s. Which was the Chuck Norris flick, which you have to see because it's amazing.
I don't think I've seen that one.
You haven't seen Sidekicks?
No. Maybe I haven't. I just
Chuck
don't
Norris
remember.
is the kid's imaginary friend.
Yeah, and he's got severe asthma.
Yeah.
And he takes up karate to basically, or kung fu, I guess in this case.
Whatever.
But
martial arts
In
to
90s
basically
films, it's the same thing. It's
to
fine.
basically cure his anxiety and his asthma and all that fun stuff.
Oh my gosh.
And it was directed by Chuck Norris's brother.
Yeah, whatever.
As basically a tribute film to his brother.
It was Chuck Norris before he went cray-cray, and it was a cute film.
I kind of still love him now that he's cray-cray.
Yeah.
He was pretty great in Expendables, too.
Oh, yeah. He's still a fun actor. He's still a fun actor.
McKellen studied mathematics at UCLA, graduating summa cum laude in 1998. As an undergraduate, she co-authored a scientific paper with Professor Lincoln Chase and fellow student Brandy Wynn entitled, let's see if I can get this out in one breath, Percolation and Gibbs States Multiplicity for Ferromagnetic Ashken-Teller Models on Z-squared. Their results are termed Chase-McKellen-Wynn theorem.
Purple?
By the way, for those of you who don't know math, that's a big fucking deal. Just gonna put that out there.
I think they didn't get a Nobel Award for it, didn't they?
I don't remember if they got a Nobel for it or not, but it's a big deal in the math community.
Yes, and she has also written 4 nonfiction books that go by Math Doesn't Suck, Kiss My Math, Hot X, Algebra Exposed, and Girls Get Curves, Geometry Takes Shape, which encouraged middle school and high school girls to have confidence and succeed in mathematics.
And also had sexy titles that were puns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Probably not material you'll find but you'll probably have to go find it yourself. Not sure if they would allow that in the school with the puns.
I
think
don't
they
know.
would?
I don't know. She also got flack for, especially after the first book came out. Whichever one was.
But she's hot, so it's okay, right? Isn't that how that works?
No, she got the thing is she got flack from mathematicians for, quote, dumbing down math. Which she wasn't dumbing down the math. She was just using things that your average American teenage girl is interested in to make them more interested in the math. Make it relatable so they would be more interested in figuring out the math.
If there's anything that makes... Oh, go ahead.
And then she also got flack from feminists because she was using stuff that that average American girls are interested in. Now, this is one of the points where I think feminists are wrong, and I also think the mathematicians are wrong, because she's honestly trying to get a large group of people, basically half the population, interested in mathematics. I mean, yes, there are girls who are interested in mathematics and boys who are not, but she's taking a majority of majority of women or teenage girls, in the high school, the middle school range ages, and using that to fuel their ability to become interested in math. I don't think it's a bad thing. And she's not, I actually saw one of her books at Barnes & Noble and just recently heard about the flack she was getting. So I flipped through it and, okay, I had no relation to what middle school girls like.
I didn't like the things most middle school girls
I was a boy
liked.
in middle school and I was confused by girls in middle school.
Girls were confused by girls in middle school.
Okay.
They're just crazy.
But I was looking at the math, and to me it was simple because it was middle school and high school level mathematics. Mm-hmm. But she wasn't dumbing down the math. It was all there. It was just behind this veil, I guess you could call it, of malls and lipstick. And I personally did not think what she did with writing those books was a bad thing at all.
Makes more sense than that fucking Common Core shit that they do now.
Yeah, let's not get started, huh?
Let's not get started on that. So yeah.
Danica McKellen.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Keeping it hot with body and brains for 20 years.
Yep. One of my longest running crushes.
Also a mother of one or two herself. Yeah. Pretty badass. So, Mayim Bialik and Danica McKellen.
Yes.
Keeping it awesome. Alright, we're down to our last two.
Mm-hmm.
Mike.
So,
no, last three. Because I
Last
started
3.
6.
Yes.
So yes, last 3.
Yeah, okay. So my number 6, I did Stanley. Which we covered pretty extensively already.
Mika Stanley?
Yeah, because Stanley, and yeah.
So, yeah. Basically.
Excelsior!
Anything
okay.
extra to add to Stan?
It's covered.
Okay.
Yeah, we kind of covered Stan already. My number 1 on my dead list, see who knows this one. Alan Turing.
You keep saying names that I vaguely remember from school, and
Like,
then
I feel like
don't
I should know
what they
them,
did.
but not.
Like, I know I had that on a test at some point,
He
but
goes-
that's all I remember.
Right in line with Charles Babbage. Alan Turing was the father of modern computing. He was at Bletchley Park during World War II and developed the computers that cracked the Enigma code. And then was found to be gay by the British government and was chemically castrated until he committed suicide.
Ah, that's why I remembered that name. Because that was disturbing.
Yes. However, without him, we would probably not have computers as powerful as we have them nowadays because of the work he did back in the 40s or in the 30s and 40s. So, we would probably still have computers, most certainly, but without his work, our computers probably would not be as advanced as they are now. We would still probably be, who knows, 10, 15, 20 years behind where we are.
Probably have the internet.
We would barely have the internet.
Oh, that's sad.
We'd be on dial-up.
Oh, God, dial-up. The
Life
Dark
would not
Ages.
be worth living.
No. So, yeah, Alan
like-
Turing, boys and girls.
You want to watch porn, look at porn on the internet, you would basically click on the link to load the picture, and then you would sit there and watch it load line
By line.
line by line.
I remember.
It doesn't even have to be porn. Any picture of anything.
That's how I escaped seeing Tub Girl. Got about 5 lines in and was like, fuck
Nope.
that. Thanks, dial-up.
I remember I had web TV when I first really started using the internet, and if you don't know what web TV is because you're too young to figure it out, it's basically like a cable top box that sits on top of your TV, and it has a wireless keyboard that goes with it, and which the wireless keyboard was fucking junk. It had a PS2 port on the back of it, so no, not PlayStation 2, PS2 port.
Yeah.
Youngins. And I just hooked up a regular keyboard to it because the response time was a lot better. But yeah, it only had a set amount of RAM in it. I can't even remember, but like anything over a certain amount, it would not load because it didn't have a hard drive in it, and it just
Couldn't cache.
cache. Yeah, so it would just be like dirt, and it would derp on you. Images it didn't have too much of a problem with, but video files, like if it was longer than 30.
Oh, God forbid somebody had a video file on their
Yeah,
website.
if it was 30 seconds long.
Or a MIDI file,
longer.
because that was a thing.
Oh, middies. God.
I love me some middies. One of my favorite things to find on the internet is like, what's this popular song? Let's go find the MIDI version. Oh, that's cool. But anyway.
Oh, middies.
LOL.
Yeah.
LOL.
I had almost forgotten about those. Thanks, you fuckers.
I'm sure you can go and find that GeoCities cache somewhere and just download them all.
Oh, God. It would take 3 seconds now, too.
Yeah.
All the,
The
middies.
whole GeoCities
Yeah.
cache. I don't know how many GeoCities pages I had that I made, started, abandoned, forgot the password to, had to make a new GeoCities account.
Yep. And then Yahoo bought GeoCities, and then it became a clusterfuck of fuck.
A clusterfuck of fuck.
Yes, because what they did is they completely redesignated your email address, so you didn't have a GeoCities email address anymore. You had a yourname.geocities@yahoo.com address.
Yeah.
And they would just fucking mess with everything, and it was just impossible to fucking work with anymore at that point.
Yeah.
Sorry, no animosity here at all.
No, clearly.
Fuck you, Yahoo. Sorry.
Actually having to code
Sign.
in Notepad.
I did that.
Oh,
Thank you.
Fuck that. With WebTV, you had to code the whole thing yourself in the fucking... Yeah, no WordPad here, buddy. I fucking hand that shit.
Yeah, Notepad. Typing in
Notepad, that's what we're saying.
But I actually had to use the
HTML.
whole HTML box that was built into GeoCities. I didn't get the
That's
the
not...
sanctity of being able to
Notepad's
save my
pretty-
notepad before
Oh, well.
before something happened.
Okay. So my number 6 / number 1 of my second half, however we're choosing to phrase this, is MC Frontalot, who's already covered, but is fucking amazing. Also is a gateway drug. I like regular hip hop now too. Thanks, MC Frontalot. You and your yellow laser beams.
Lol.
I don't know if there was anything else I can bring up on this lot that wasn't already covered.
It is shiny. It is clean.
Yes. Gross. He writes raps about important things. We had a whole thing where we talked about him, so I don't feel like I really need to elaborate all that much. He's just awesome. End. Because MC front a lot.
Yeah.
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 I was thinking we already talked about him enough.
And we already had like a whole episode.
On Nerdcore.
Yeah, so
which was more or less the MC Front a Lot.
It was the MC Front a Lot show, yeah.
MC Front a Lot, the podcast.
And here's a little MC Chris.
Well, how's our time?
Just a little over an hour.
Okay.
Nice.
I think we're good.
Yeah. Anything extra to add to any of our current listings?
So we're not doing a show next weekend.
No. So
But
yeah,
there's going to be a show posted from
Yes.
Initiative. Okay.
So yeah, for those of you who have generously listened through to the end of this show, you may have noticed that this last week there wasn't an actual show put up, mostly because my ass didn't get around to editing them. But
Lazy bones. You with your life.
but we
and
did
your
record.
child.
We did record last week, however, 2 episodes of our newest addition to the family, the Initiative, which will be editing, and I'll post them so that they stagger. So we'll get one up by the end of this week, and then another one up by next weekend, so that way you guys will have something to listen to.
Well, we also have this one to post up too.
Yes. So you'll also get a new show.
They're still going to get more shows next week than they would otherwise. So
Yes.
no complaining, slaves.
You'll get 3 shows next week instead of the regular 2.
And you will like it.
That's right.
Yes. No, because they only get 2, because there won't be a new show.
Well, there will be a new show next week.
How about
Anyway,
we
yes.
stop metaing?
Anyway. Sorry. Anyway.
It'll happen.
Yeah. You'll get 2 shows the next 2 weeks, even though the whole point of this is we're not recording on Easter. There.
Duh.
Because damn it, we get Sundays off sometimes too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you said.
This is, you don't want to see us or hang out with us. I know what it is. You think you're too cool.
You
for
with your
school.
family that you want to hang out with.
My aunt already called me and invited me over. Some kind already committed.
I'm going
Yeah,
to a
we got-
zombie Jesus Day party.
Lol.
We got Professor Algernon and his wife coming down from Baker.
God.
Is he going to do a magic show here? Because I don't have a vehicle I can drive far off places with.
Well, he wants to try. Maybe Mason can help me with it later, but he's trying to get set up with Fandemonium, and I don't know how to. The first thing about doing that for
That'd
him.
be fucking cool.
Fandemonium.org.
Okay.
Yeah. Get a hold of Fandemonium.org. Get a hold of Borneo. God, I'm terrible with the names tonight.
Well, is Borneo still running it, or
I'm
did he
pretty
hand
sure-
it off?
Oh, he might have handed it off. That's right.
Yeah, because I can't remember her name, but there was somebody else that
Yeah.
was his assistant that I heard was taking over, but I don't know.
But anyway, go to Fandemonium.org.
Yeah, well, it's there.
And yeah, I'm sure they'll be happy to have a magician,
Steampunk.
a steampunk magician
Yeah.
perform there. So
Yeah, if you can get a stage play with a bunch of 16-year-olds cosplaying, you can get a goddamn seasoned magician on stage. I'm sure.
yes,
Anyway, and it show's awesome. I was a part of it. I had fucking weird things pulled out of my stomach, and it was crazy. So,
yeah,
anyway. That's it. Wrapping it
I
up.
think that's it. Yes.
Excellent. So, for the Nerd Effect podcast, we have been,
Michael Morgan.
Mason Ireland.
Nikki Prindle!
and I am Dustin VanCour. For those about to nerd,
We
We
salute
salute
you.
you!